Hi, and welcome to Talks with Shay.
May His presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you in the morning, in the evening. And you're coming, and you're going, and you're weeping and rejoicing. He is for you. He is for you.
I would like to begin today with reading from Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 13. And it says, He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. So today, for part 4 of Quality Woman, I would like to talk to you about communicates. We're talking about part 4 of communicating, and we're talking about being a quality woman. In order for us to be that quality woman, we need to make sure that we have those healthy communication skills in our pockets. Everybody don't know how to communicate, right? And sometimes it's a learned behavior. Sometimes people grew up in ways that their parents did not know how to communicate and were healthy, didn't know how to communicate healthy. So the children grow up and don't know how to communicate healthy. But I'm here today to encourage you that just because you may have grown up in a home where healthy communication was not displayed doesn't mean that you can't grow up and know how to communicate healthy. You can do it, and we all need to do it, right? Communication goes a long way. Every part of our lives, we have to communicate with somebody, right? Whether it's on the telephone talking to a customer or client, whether it's at the checkout register, we have to communicate, whether it's with a family, whether it's a friend, a significant other, co-worker, whatever. We need communication all the way around. But ultimately, we want to be those quality women that have healthy communication skills. You know, when I look back at my life, I always didn't have good communication skills, right? I wouldn't say they were always healthy. You know, in my mind, before God, of course, I would even say that, like, everything I thought, I said it. So to me, I was a communicator. But the Bible tells us that a fool speaketh his whole mind. So by just telling somebody everything that you feel and how you feel and just everything you think, that doesn't mean that you have healthy communication skills. It means you just got a big mouth. Because sometimes, y'all, some things are just better not said. You know, when we look at even the way society is right now, healthy communication is like out of the window, right? Because so many times people, like, we live in a country where it's freedom of speech. So literally, people literally say whatever they feel, however they feel, and don't always care about another person's feelings, which we talked about compassion last week. But anyway, we're talking about communicating healthy. Just because you're saying everything you say, how you feel and think and all of that, it doesn't mean that you have healthy communication skills. Society tells you text somebody if you got something to tell them. That's not a healthy way to communicate certain things with people. We have taken text messages, I think, like, to a whole nother level. To me, a text message should be something like, hey, you home yet? I'm on my way. Or just texting somebody, I'm on my way, or something very short and simple. When you have to discuss something that's tough with somebody, pick up the phone, pay them a visit, and talk to that person. Because reading it in a text message, most of the time, you can't even feel where that person is coming from. You may think they're angry when they're not even being angry about it. So just pick up the phone. We have to even teach teenagers and children how to properly communicate because they hide so much behind social media and text messaging that they forget how to communicate with people. So how are they going to grow up and have healthy relationships if they don't know how to communicate with people? When you're living with somebody, that's totally different than living away from that person. When I even think of people that you can tell when somebody beefed out with somebody on social media. Everybody gonna know about it on social media. Keep your business with yourself. It's like, go to that person, talk to that person about the issue you have. It's always easier to communicate with somebody something that is like good, right, and positive. That's easy. Where we going to eat tonight? Let's go to McDonald's. Well, I want to go to Whataburger. Well, how about let's meet in the middle? Bam, it's done. Compromise, it's done. But if we got to talk to somebody about something that they maybe did or said to us that has affected us in some type of way, it's difficult, because it's like, it's getting out of that comfort zone for yourself to be able to address it with people. Now, some people do a little better with it than other people, but sometimes it's still a struggle because you really have to be considerate of another person's feelings. And then you have to think, what words I'm going to say, because I don't want to come off ugly and acting as if I don't care about their feelings. So you have to think it out and say, how I'm going to say this. Sometimes the best way to even communicate with somebody is after the anger have blown off. Because if you go tell somebody how you feel and they have made you upset, more than likely it's going to cause an argument. And that's not going to be healthy for either persons. So what we have to do is learn how to communicate with people in a healthy way. When I was a family therapist, I used to go into the homes and I was a therapist to the whole family as a whole to help the family be a better and healthier family. One of the skills I would teach them was called an I statement. And one of the things that the I statement does is it takes the blame off of the other person. And you're letting that person know what they're doing and how it's affecting you. Say, for example, okay, give y'all an example. So about 20 years probably, I was always teased and called fat neck by a certain individual in my life or whatever. And it would hurt me. But because I never knew how to say it, I would just like laugh and kind of brush it off. Well, when I was in therapy, I remember my therapist telling me, if you don't never tell them that what they're saying is hurting you, how they're supposed to stop, how they even know to stop. Because you're laughing, you're making them think that it's okay when it's really not. So had the conversation with that person, let them know. And guess what? They apologized and they stopped. But you know what an I statement would look like? An I statement would be me telling that person. Now, y'all, I ain't did I statements in a long time, so let me try to refresh my memory. But it's more or less you telling that person, I feel hurt when you call me fat neck. Period. I like to tell people less is best. You're just letting them know how you feel. And it's hurting me, And so it's simple like that. Use I statements to tell people what they're doing that's hurting you. Instead of saying, you always hurting my feelings because you always calling me fat neck. Now that is going to cause somebody to possibly be defensive. Versus when you're saying, when you call me fat neck, this really hurts my feelings. I feel hurt when you call me fat neck. That's an I statement. So try using those things to help communicate with other people what they're doing that's affecting you. Maya Angelou says it best. We teach people how to treat us, right? Because if we never tell that person what they're doing that's hurting us and it keeps making us feel uncomfortable, how are they supposed to stop if they never knew that it was affecting you? So we have to learn how to be good communicators with other people, to have healthy relationships in our lives, for us to be even healthier individuals within ourselves. But if we don't tell people what we expect of them, how can we hold them accountable for it? We can't, because they didn't know. So if a person don't know that you're hurting them, they're likely going to keep hurting you because you're not letting them know. And if you did tell them and they keep hurting you, then you go to the circle we've talked about all the time. Determine where they need to be in your life, even if they even deserve to be in your life, right? Because some people, just the other day I was praying. I said, God, if I have relationships in my life that you're not pleased with and you don't want to be there, remove them. And sometimes in the removing, it's painful and it's hurtful. But I want to have healthy relationships in my life. I want people in my life that know how to help me be a healthy communicator and know how to communicate with me healthy as well, to make better relationships. You know, we all need to be striving to have healthy communications in our lives. But just communicating any kind of way is not really communicating. It's just being ugly. And so we want to be mindful of how we say things to people, when we say them. Make sure our spirit has calmed down. You took a little time out if you need a time out before you address certain situations. But go to those people, tell those people that you need to, that what they're doing, it's hurting you. And give them that option to either stop doing that, or you give them the option and say, you can go. And put them somewhere else in your life. But if you don't tell them, stop blaming them for the way that they're treating you. Amen? Amen. So before Shay go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page, invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all stay blessed.